Hello everyone! Today I wanted to share with you a really simple idea that's had a huge impact on my life. In moments where I've had to make some really tough decisions, this simple idea has helped me make decisions that ultimately bring more joy into my life. It is the idea of authentic versus synthetic yeses. To understand this idea, let me first start by asking you a couple of questions. What are you saying yes to in your life right now? What are your commitments? Your commitments to your career, commitments to other people? Are you genuinely happy with everything in your life, or are there things you've committed to or people you've committed to that you feel like you have to commit to? This, my friends, is the difference between authentic and synthetic yeses. Authentic yeses are when you say yes to something without a doubt because you know in your heart it is right for you, that it just brings you joy and lifts you up and is aligned with who you are and who you want to be. Now, on the other hand, a synthetic yes is something you say yes to because you feel like you have to. Either there's a pressure coming from people in your life or society or even yourself to say yes to this thing because you feel like it's logically and rationally the right thing to do. Synthetic yeses feel really uncomfortable because we know they're not right for us, but we still do them anyway. I don't think it's fun living a life full of doing things we feel like we have to do. So that's why I think it's really important that we take the time to become aware of what we're saying yes to in our life and making sure that we're filling our lives with authentic yeses. Because when we fill our life with authentic yeses, we'll truly be living a life authentic to ourselves and we'll feel a lot more joyful. Now, there may be times where you're between a rock and a hard place and you find you have to commit to making a synthetic yes. But when you're in that situation, try and think about what value you can get out of having to make that synthetic yes. Maybe you're learning a lesson on how to avoid making a synthetic yes in the future. There can be something good from it. I'm a firm believer that there's a silver lining in every situation. Now, sometimes our authentic yeses can turn into synthetic yeses, and that is okay. Things change, we change. Things that once brought us joy may not bring us joy in the same way that they used to. But the key in this situation is to be aware that something isn't right and to have the courage to make the change so that you are committing to an authentic yes for yourself. With this awareness, you have to be completely and compassionately honest with yourself when something isn't working. To know if something is an authentic or a synthetic yes, I like to do a core check. What is my core saying? And when I say core, I'm referring to my belly or my gut, but I really don't like the sound of gut because it sounds very graphic. So that's why we are going with core. So there's been research that has actually shown that our core is actually more intelligent than our minds in knowing what we actually need. That's why people say, listen to your gut. But we're saying core here. Ultimately, our core is where our intuition resides. And when you think about it, when we do deep breathing properly, we breathe into our core, and that gives us calmness and clarity of thought. So you can technically say that our clarity of thought really comes from our core, not our heads. Now, I am no scientist, and quite frankly, I'm the last person you should ask about anything in terms of how the human body works, but I think the idea is fascinating. So basically, the main idea here is when you're making a decision, think about what you're feeling in your core. Do you feel the strong yes feeling, or do you feel a very strong, uncomfortable physical aversion to making a commitment to something? So I encourage you to have a good think about your authentic and synthetic yeses in your life right now. What synthetic yeses do you need to say no to and free yourself from in order to be your true self? What are the authentic yeses you want to fill your life with? Well, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this little philosophical exercise. Most importantly, I hope that it helps you bring more joy into your life because that's why I'm here, to help fill your life with joy. Well, it's been swell. And until next time, my friends, I wish you joy and jubi.